welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Anita, your favorite registered nurse. So today I'm here to talk to you all about tips on passing the NCLEX-RN on your first attempt and even after multiple failed attempts. So these tips are going to be useful either ways. So if you're a registered nurse, looking to write the NCLEX-RN, or people that are preparing for the NCLEX-RN, which this video will be beneficial to do well to watch, and also send this video to those people that it will be beneficial to. So these tips are the tips that helped me in passing the NCLEX-RN on the first attempt, and they're also proven to also help you in passing the NCLEX, either your first attempt or even after multiple failed attempts. So if you are into this type of stuff, then you are at the right place. Welcome once again to my YouTube channel. So let's get right into the tips. So now let's go into the tips in passing the NCLEX-RN. These are my go-to tips. So before we talk about the tips, let's ask the question, what is NCLEX? NCLEX is short form for National Council Licensure Examination. It's a standardized test used by State Board of Nursing to actually determine if somebody is ready to be a nurse. And once you pass the exam, you're automatically licensed to practice as a nurse in any of the states within the United States of America that you registered with, be it New York, New Jersey, Texas, or any country that you might want to be using it for. So now let's talk about the tips. Tips in passing the NCLEX-RN. My number one tip is going to be knowing your content. It cannot be overemphasized. You need to get grounded in your content as regards preparation for the NCLEX. Know your content. There are a lot of useful materials like the Saunders textbook, either you using the soft copy or the hard copy. All these materials can come in any of this form or both forms. Use your lethaRgy, prioritization, delegation, and assignment. It focuses on those three things, and that is because the NCLEX is big on those three things. Also, there's my McClimack audios, my McClimack books. There are YouTube resources. Like for me, the YouTube resources I found helpful when preparing for the NCLEX were Simple Nursing, Registered Nurse, RN, NCLEX Crusade, that's Professor Rena Erado, Nexus Nursing. So just get into them. They will help you, ground you in your content. So after that, the second tip I'm going to give you is do a lot of practice questions. I did a lot of practice questions. Do a lot of practice questions because that would actually help you in assessing yourself, knowing where you are weak and where you are strong. And answering questions could also be a way for you to get grounded in content. Yes, so you could use question banks like the UWorld, the Archer, and some others, because I use UWorld and Archer and they were both useful because when you answer questions, they give you rationales, detailed rationales on as regards that question, as regards that topic. Let's say you didn't know anything about it, and you sit in the question, you answer it, you didn't get the question, you see the rationales. With that, you already get some insights into what that particular topic is all about. You get to read about it, know some things about it, and you could actually go and do more reading. So that could actually help. Answering questions can also be a way to build your content aside assessing your level of preparation for the exam. That brings to my next tip, who should say do a lot of jotting. Write down things. Either you're writing them, you have a book and a biro, or you're doing that on your computer and saving it somewhere. Just have a jotter. Write down tips, write down rationales so that you can always go back and look at them for some quick reads and all that. Write down mnemonics there, write down acronyms that will be useful for you as regards the NCLEX. It's very important. So my next tip is going to be read to understand. Ladies and gents, you need to read to understand. It's very important. A lot of things you need to know in the NCLEX. You can't start trying to cram Let's say, for example, we have the endocrine system. The endocrine system is wide. And if you tend to cram for that system, it could actually do a lot of damage. So it's very important to read to understand. Let's say, for example, since I've talked about the endocrine system, you know the Cushing's and the Addison's disease. Those are disorders of the adrenal cortex. And the adrenal cortex has its hormones, the adrenergic, the glucocorticoids, and also the androgens. So you know those hormones. So you know that in Addison's, those steroid hormones are low. In Cushing's, those steroid hormones are high. And you know the steroid hormones, the androgens, your glucocorticoids, that's all those your cortisone, the hydrocortisone, you know your mineralocorticoid, that's your aldosterone. You know what those hormones do. And then you'll be able to know what will happen when those hormones are actually low and what will happen when those hormones are high. Like if glucocorticoids is low, you know there will be low blood glucose. If it's high, there's going to be high blood glucose. So it's very important to read to understand, so you know what's actually happening. So you know what's actually happening, and you know what goes wrong when it's above, it's outside normal. So it's very important to actually read to understand. So that will take me to my next tip. Next tip is going to be having some tips in answering NCLEX style questions at your fingertips. You have to be able to know some tips, like the ABCs, airway, breathing, circulation, know how to not read too much into the question, know how to analyze questions properly, know how to do your elimination method, all these tips. I'm going to leave some tips down in the description box, so you go look at them. These are tips I have gotten by myself that have worked for me. These are tips that I've gotten from my research also, so do well to look at them. So like I say, NCLEX is 70% your content and about 30% your tips. Yeah, so know those tips. That will be helpful in tackling some questions so that the NCLEX does not trick you. Simple Nursing will say, Mike from Simple Nursing will say, do not let the NCLEX trick you. The NCLEX likes to trick, so do not fall for their trick. So my next tip will be on focus on your weak areas. When preparing for the NCLEX, you will know where your weak areas are and your strong areas. So tend to focus more on your weak areas. If your weak areas is analyzing the ECG readings, tend to do more about, focus on it, and do not leave it and be like, oh, I am weak here, I do not understand it. Instead, do put in more effort to be able to get grounded on that particular topic or whatever that you might be weak at. So the next tip is going to be know about percentages of questions based on the content area. The NCSBN, that's the National Council State Board of Nursing, they brought out a lot of content area with their percentages as per how they are being asked in the exam. Like there's the health and promotion, it has its own percentage. There's the safety and infection control, it has its own percentage. There's the parenteral nutrition, has its own percentage. There are a whole lot of content area with their percentage listed there, and they will give you the particular topics that are under those areas. So I'll drop the link for the NCBS Areas, so you go look at them and get grounded in those areas. So that'll be very important. So these are my go-to tips for passing the NCLEX. So I got you. These tips are going to be helpful if you're writing the NCLEX-RN, because they helped me pass the NCLEX on the first attempt, and they could also help you in passing the NCLEX even after multiple failed attempts. So if you stay to the end, you are the real MVP. Thank you so much, and I hope these tips are very useful to you. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. I'll do well to answer everything. And so thank you so much. Thank you so much for staying to the end. So please do well to like, comment, and subscribe. Till we meet again. Bye bye.